Hello, snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host, Avran LeFeber, and in this video, we're gonna break down the Bataleon Salsa Boa Boot. That's right, Bataleon is getting into making boots. But this isn't an afterthought like some people might be thinking. They actually hired Burton's old boot designer from Europe to help dial these in. And I gotta say, for a first year offering, these have some amazing technology in them, a great looking shape, and they look dialed. But one thing I want you to know is the best boot is the one that fits your foot and fits your needs. So make sure you go to a shop, you try it on, you're sized properly, because I've seen some of you troglodytes out there with the wrong size boots, and then you try to tell me, no, it's normal to upsize and wear 3 pairs of socks. It's not. Don't do that. But let's break down the Salsa Boa and what's going on in this boot. All right, so let's talk about some key components of the Salsa Boa. It's got a TPU toe box and back spine. This is gonna be a little more rigid. It's gonna help hold its shape. It's not gonna crease as easily. The other thing you're gonna notice is if you rest your back edge on your toe box, it's not gonna dig in and cut it up as easily. And the way that it ends over here on the sides, that's gonna help when your ratchet's really digging down in. It's gonna be a little more rigid. This is a stiffer back spine. This is gonna give you that rebound and rigidity in there without creasing it. You will get a little bit of a wear point right where the articulation is in the cuff. One of the biggest difference between the Salsa Boa and the Salsa Lace is the lack of the power strap on the Boa version. You have a fully articulated cuff, so that way it helps when you're flexing into the boot. Now, this is a little bit softer than their Acid Boa, and it's still a fairly stiff boot. I know, not the most scientific way to test a boot flex, but I just wanted to show you guys that it does have some rigidity to it. Hey, down in the description, we've got a bunch of affiliate links for you. That way you don't have to go hunting if you're trying to shop online, but hopefully you're going to your local snowboard shop to buy your boots. I really hope you are. You do have a rubber outsole with an EVA foam, standard on a lot of boots in there. You have that impact foam right there in the heel, as well as 2 points on the toe. So that way when you land, you're just gonna be able to dampen that blow a little bit more. It's got a decent tread pattern to it as well. With it being Boa, the cool thing is you only have one section where the lace actually crisscrosses. There's no eyelet guide on there. That's nice. That helps it not fatigue itself or wear itself down. You do have a dual Boa zone as well, so that way you can just kind of get it tighter on the lower, leave it looser on the upper, or vice versa, depending on how you want it. They do use the cord lace instead of the steel cable, so that's nice. You do have a normal liner, so it's gonna be a little more free flexing forward in there, and you do have a higher pull stay in there to lock you down in your heels. Your internal harness goes super high on this. You do have a quick tab release, but when you're tightening this down, you're tightening this up higher than some other boots, and it does have a normal pull lace system. So for those of you that are worried about it. And this boot has a really deep heel pocket with very aggressive J-bars to it. So if you've got a really narrow heel and you really like to be locked down, this will do it. The liner on the Salsa boot is fully heat moldable, and you do have the toe hugger neoprene, so that'll give you a little bit more if your toes stick out there. You have a very aggressive heel pocket down in here with huge internal J-bars. This thing will lock in immensely on just about any small ankle shape. If you have really bulky ankles, you may not like this boot. And obviously the best boot is the one that fits your foot and fits your needs, so make sure you try on stuff. You do have a little bit of Velcro on the tongue so that way it attaches and holds. And then you also have this butterfly wrap that's harder foam on the outside. This is also going to create that heel pocket that locks you in and holds you down. It does have bigger seams on the side, so you may feel that. It's fairly lightweight. It doesn't have as much padding in the bottom as the one in the Acid Boa, but still looks solid. All right, You enjoying this video so far? Need you to do something for me. Give it a thumbs up. While you're down there, if you haven't already, subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the programming we've got coming out for you. This is the insole that comes with the Salsa Boa. There's no arch support. This is complete and utter crap like a lot of other companies. Throw this away, get yourself an aftermarket insole or a custom one. You will be a lot happier with that. Trust me on it. It will dial in your fit and your performance when you're out on the mountain so much better. Now, if we measure this boot from the inside, it is just under 11.5 inches to the top of the cuff in the back. And on the side, it's about 10 1/3. And in the front, it's about the same as that, maybe just a little bit higher, like 10 1/2. I know, not the most scientific method of it, but that kind of just gives you an idea that it's not crazy high. It doesn't have as much give in the back of the liner as, say, the Acid Boa does. When we measure the shell, the height to the back is about just under 11 inches. The width of this is about a standard width. It's not narrow, it's not wide, it's kind of just that middle of the road. And you know, if your foot isn't crazy wide, you're probably gonna have no problem fitting into this. At the forefoot of the liner, it's about 4 inches across, so it's not a crazy wide liner in there, just to be aware of that. Like what we're doing over here? Want to support us further? Swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. This is going to be more of that like V-shaped foot where it's wider at the forefoot and tight, but it's not going to be for a super wide foot or even a regular wide foot. You're just going to be for more of a normal width or even slightly narrower. I think wouldn't have a problem with this after a little bit further inspection. All right, so hopefully we were able to break down a bunch of the key tech features on the new Salsa Boa boot from Bataleon for you. Remember, you want to try on as many boots as you can to find the one that fits your foot and fits your needs. Make sure you're sized properly. Go to your local shops if you can. If you are shopping online, please know your sizes and please understand you may have to ship these back because they won't fit you. If this doesn't sound like the boot for you, why don't you go watch one of our other boot breakdowns, because we're trying to cover as many brands as possible for you guys.